Well, we meet again. This is John, and this is a 92 300E. In my last video, I got the high-speed fan function working because the car's always had this overheating problem. And and then I did a test because my son's car, and it overheated pretty bad the last time, which was probably 3 weeks ago, maybe, yeah. And he pretty much boiled all the coolant out of the car before he realized what was going on. Always look at your gauges. He saw a warning light, said, no coolant in the tank there, or low coolant. And that's when he, shut the AC off and turned the heater on, and he kept driving it. I said, you should have just pulled over. But he was just, I don't know, half a mile away from home. He goes, I'm just going to drive home. And that was probably enough to warp the head gasket or to blow the head gasket. So you can see the color of that coolant. It has oil in it. Thing is I replaced this head gasket last summer, June of 22. I did a really good job on replacing it. It's not leaking a drop of oil. The last time I replaced it, it was for an oil leak over on this side, which these things are known for. And that's why I replaced it. The head was not warped, it was just leaking oil. Well, this time, probably about this area here, the coolant and oil passages are real close together, kind of a design flaw, and it doesn't take much for it to blow that head gasket. Then you end up with oil in the coolant. You don't get coolant in the engine oil. So I ordered the parts. This will be the 4th head gasket for this car in 12 years. Yeah, I've kind of burned out on it, on the overheating. Other than that, the car's great, but the overheating part is just, man, it's constant with this thing. But I think it was from the high-speed fan function not working from a previous owner, that somebody had switched the wiring behind the dash, or in the dash there behind the climate control unit. And when they did this switch of the wiring, it disabled the high-speed function, which is, the fan that brings down the temperature. So that it's never been working. So it's gone through 4 head gaskets when we got it. Son bought it off eBay, $3,800 12 years ago. It had a blown head gasket. So I think this car's always suffered from that. I've had cars with W123s before, and the head gaskets last, 150,000 miles. This thing, it started at, let's see, we got it about 119,000. Now it's at about 147,000. So what I'm going to do right now is thinking about it. I could be doing things all wrong, but this is just the way I do it. I'm not a professional mechanic. I'm just a guy with old cars, try to keep them running. I'm going to drain and flush all of this existing coolant that's in there before I start taking the head off and stuff like that, because you'll get it, it'll get all over the ground and stuff when you take the head off. So I'm going to flush it. There's a block drain that's located on the block right about there. You crawl under there, you undo this thing, and it'll drain the block, the water jacket, all the coolant, undo the thermostat, run a garden hose through there, blow it all out, blow out the radiator. Heater core probably has it in it too. It's just there's oil in there and it's kind of nasty, you know, to leave it in there. Yeah. I guess I could blow out the heater core and did it right here. I guess I could shoot some water down through there. There's not a whole lot of electronics or anything here. It's just expansion valve. And maybe a wire loom right there, but I'll figure something out. Yeah, what's that? Blow out the heater core. The other side of the heater core is, I could might be able to undo it right here. The auxiliary water pump and flush it through, and then put it back together. And then I'm going to put some laundry detergent, or not detergent, it's called Shout. It comes in a little bottle like this. It's for removing stains off laundry, but it's like real concentrated. Pour some of that in a bucket, water, mix it up, fill this thing up with it, run it. So it's basically washing and scrubbing the system when you're running it. Drain that out. Put some, probably 3 times, right? You got to do it. I should do the Mercedes acid flush, but you know, the last time I did it, the acid flush is more for scale and sediment. You know, it dissolves the scale. And I did that last summer. Yeah, I think it's last summer I did that. And just tiny little flakes came out, you know. The water wasn't, you know, like that. It's not horrible or anything. So, yeah, with the amount of time I've done the head gaskets and flushes, this thing's fairly clean on the inside. So I'm just going to run that soap through there to get the oil, break that oil down. The engine heats up with that detergent in it, and it just melts that oil and then get it out of there. And then hopefully that'll be okay. Might have to do it one more time once I get the whole engine back together. Depends on how much stuff falls in there, but I'm pretty good at doing this. So anyways, I'm going to be working all day on this. The joy. God, make sure that your cooling system works so you don't have to do this kind of stuff in any old car, you know. And it's the summer, the heat of the summer here that just kills these things. And you look on the internet and there'll be thousands of posts about late 80s, mid 90 cars that just, you know, these kind, W126, R129s, what's it, W201, the 190Es, you know, and they have this kind of setup, man. It's not a perfect setup, you know, out of owning probably, I don't know, 20 or 30 cars in my life. I've never had a car that is, that overheats like this thing during extremely hot temperatures. Rest of the year, it doesn't overheat. It just drives fine. It's just like maybe a month out of the summer where this problem surfaces when it's 100 degrees out and you're driving in stop and go traffic, air conditioning on full blast. That's when it happens. But I did install a dash mounted switch for the high-speed fan circuits, so you can turn those on. Before it didn't have that. I probably would have saved it. Anyways, I'm gonna just drain the whole thing. Yeah, so the reason I do these videos is so that I can go back and look at what kind of work I did. What did I fix? Because there's so many fixes on this car and other cars. I forget, what did I do 2 years ago? So anyway, so I just took the thermostat out, and This is a cold engine. I don't know if you can see it, but that should be closed right there. Right here where you see the daylight coming through it. That stupid thermostat is bad. So I guess it's a 75C. I put this up from a 450 SL 79. I put a cooler thermostat in there so that it would, helpfully cool the system down. But that is junk. And who made it? I got to research it. Get my money back. God, I swear. Half the parts that I buy, new parts, are bad. You can see, good Lord. Definitely boil this thing. Okay, so that's one thing. I have the other. I'm going to put the regular thermostat back in it. That's crazy. I mean, what is it? It's 67 degrees out. That thing's supposed to open at, 75 Celsius, which is, I don't know what, 185 Fahrenheit, something like that. Okay. All right. Let's see where that's draining from. Anyways, it's a big old drain. It's 19 millimeter. Yeah, so I got that drain open, and then turning it this way, and it's going through the entire water jacket. Yeah, it's flushing everything out of it. Yeah, so I got that out. I got most of the coolant. There's still going to be stuff on the driveway, but I'm just hosing it down. I think hopefully we caught it in time, because usually you'll see inside this expansion tank, which I drained already, when it gets real bad, like you drive it like that for 3 months or longer, that coolant in there will look like mayonnaise. I mean, it's just like, they call it monkey poo. You can always pull your cap out and look at it. See, this one looks fairly decent. It is a newer cap. I think I got it at the dealer. This will be all coated with crap. Okay, so now I've got that cleaned out. This I'm not too worried about. In the heater core, so what I was thinking, I don't know if it'll work or not, but I'll take that hose off there. There's a heater core in there, and it's like a little miniature radiator, and it's filled. I want to flush that out. So stick the garden hose in that one thing, and then it has to go through this mono valve. The flow, I believe, goes this way. It comes from off the top of the head, and it flows this way through there, comes out. It'll free float, so the coolant should go from here and then out to this hose here. This is auxiliary water pump, and the Mercedes put this in because they were getting complaints of people, cold climates. It took forever for their heater to start heating them inside the cabin, so they figured out, oh, well, there's really not a whole lot of, there's not enough coolant at idle going through here to keep you warm. So they added this, so this kind of like pulls it and pushes it through the system. All right, disconnected there, disconnected there. Oh. All that crud, dirty water. I replaced a heater core in this thing too. All that. There's a lot in there. It looks like it's running pretty clear there. And then this hose. Awkward. Come on, hose. There. Okay, and this hose. I love that sound. Okay. So we have the radiator flushed. We have the water jacket in the block flushed. We have the heater core flushed. So now I just put it back together. And, it's, I'm just wondering if I should put soap in there. I don't know if, I'll do it, but it's, I don't know if it's that oily in there. I think we got it just in time, but just to make sure it's cleaned out. Okay, here's what I'm using. Amazon. I forgot how much I paid for it. I think it was maybe about a half a bottle left in it. Put it in a bucket. Mix it with water. And then now I'm trying to fill the block up. Got the drain closed. I can fill it here with a funnel. Takes a long time though. You could probably loosen one of these plugs and it'll allow it to go faster, but yeah, see. Let's go like that. So I get some in there. And I'm just going to reverse this hose, put this here, and then pour it and fill the radiator up. Fill the coolant tank up. Still got all of that heater core that has nothing in it. It'll eventually circulate through there. I have no thermostat in there, so it might leak around here. I don't care. Basically, I'm just going to warm it up for 5 minutes and let it just circulate. Here goes nothing. I can hear the squirrel of the air pump bearings. Yeah, we got water all over the belts and stuff. Isn't that wonderful? So I'm just gonna run it like this for a few minutes. It's no thermostat, so it's gonna be circling, keep filling up this expansion tank. Yeah, I'm turning the heater on. Okay, so now it's got up about 100 or the 85 mark, a little bit over. Now I'm just gonna let it sit for a minute, or burp the system through this. It's hot. You can see that level is just dropping. It's just sucking it in. Let it sit for a little while, cool off a little bit. Then we'll undo this. We'll take the cap off and we'll fill it some more. That way it'll get through the whole system, hopefully, right? Sounds pretty good. I don't know. Yeah, about 5-10 minutes. Let it run. Heater on. At first that wasn't getting any heat. Oh, now it's so we know that the water now is going through the little miniature radiator that's behind here. Real pain to get through. The whole dashboard had to come out. Everything that you see here is gone to get to the box. Hot air everywhere. Holy crap, is it hot in here. Temperature gauge. Yeah, it hasn't even reached the 85 mark. I got those nice suds in there, just scrubbing away, going through the entire, everything in the system. And then I shut it off, cool off just a little bit, and then drain everything again like you saw me do. And then fill it up, run it, and drain it again until you don't have bubbly water coming out. Fun, huh? Okay, so I flushed the entire system just like the first time. I just kept pumping water through every system until the water came out clear. And it came out clear with no bubbles. You can see how clean the coolant tank is now. It was brown. Yeah, disconnect the battery. So at least now I've got all that yucky stuff out of there. There's that. Yeah. Oh, I put a new thermostat. You can see how nice and clean that is in there. I mean, it wasn't. If you let it go, it's just gonna really get bad. I put the 87C thermostat back in. It was brand new. It's the winter thermostat, but that other thermostat, it was stuck open. Luckily, it was the summertime. I don't know what, I guess the engine just doesn't get up to complete temperature or something really quick. It does eventually. I mean, everything heats up, but yeah. So it's kind of a mess. We'll clean it all up later. So now all I have to do, remove air cleaner, remove fan shroud, remove fan, loosen belt, take this off, distributor cap off, spark plugs out, wiring out, valve cover off. Then you do one side at a time. Then on this side, exhaust manifold. I think I have one stud that's stuck in there, so you just undo all of these. Then I think you can separate it right here, 1, 2, and this piece will come out. Or if you can get all of these out, then that'd be nice. If not, you can leave, some people leave them in place, but you got to pick up this really heavy head over this. You know, do that. And then other side, you've got the intake manifold that has a bunch of bolts like that, like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Take that off. All these sensors off. You might, or unplugged. You might be able to get them off once the head's off. Water hose there off. And then the head will just, you know, undo the head bolts, and then your head is off. I have one worried. There's 14 head bolts, and one of them, they have that kind of weird, I don't know what it's called, 12-point Allen, all things.
Hello, what's going on, sir? Just to let you know, we're going to be in town tomorrow. We do the custom address painting. If you guys ever...
Oh, okay. I don't know what that was about, but so got this 12-point Allen. I think it's still good, but one of the bolts started, the bolt itself started getting a little weird, a little bit stripped. I just hope I can get that sucker out. If I can't, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Those things are in there tight. Luckily, I put black grease on all the bolts before putting them in. And then you get your head out. So either he blew the head gasket, and that's all we have to replace, or blew the head gasket and warped the head. Luckily, I have a flat edge that I bought for measuring the head tolerances. If it's warped, then we have to take it to the machine shop. This one has already been in the machine shop once, about 10, 12 years ago when we first got the car. And back then they surfaced it, installed new valve guides, reground the valves and stuff. Hopefully he didn't crack the block, because he pretty much ran this out of coolant. There was no coolant in this thing when he pulled in the driveway, so you can imagine what horrors are lay underneath here. I don't think he cracked the block. It's an iron block and a pretty bulletproof. Weakest link is the head made out of aluminum, which will do the taco, you know. Anyways, so what is it? So that took me about, it took me about 2 hours to flush that whole system out. So it might help you if you want to do a complete flush, you know. I didn't do the acid flush because I did it last summer, you know, and it was pretty clear what came out of the entire system. This is the residue. It's not horrible. The ants like it. I'll wash this down, but it's not real bad. Just a little bit of brownness. So it's fun crawling under there too, especially when the water's dripping in your face and all over you. Okay, so I don't know, this probably be a 2-3 parter. I mean, it's a good 20 hours, you know, of work, you know, taking all the stuff off, accessories, getting the head out here. Yeah, you know, some people can do it really quick. I take my time because I don't want to break anything. And this is the 4th time I've done it, so I know where everything is and how everything goes. And I'm not gonna bust my knuckles trying to hurry up to get it ready for tomorrow morning. All right, I'm getting there. I got all the front stuff taken off. Taking the valve cover off, but see this? That is rat poop. So I don't know how I got under there, but so, you know, with all the electrical issues this car's had, I blame rats. Oh, rats. Yeah, it's been about an hour, 10 minutes straight working, so I've got all of these nuts off. You can see it's separated right there. There's one and two studs, three studs that are, they don't come out like the other ones. Be nice if they did, because then you can lift the whole thing out. So, pain in the butt. So I've got to first remove this one. And this one, this little pipe that's down here, AGR, I think I've had that off, but I remember it was really a pain to get it. It was really hard. So there's two nuts, 1, 2, easy to get to. That'll loosen that, and then this whole thing will come off. Oh, there's still there's like 1, I think 1, 2, maybe 3 more things that come off. Maybe this, yeah, this has got to come off. Dipstick for transmission has to come off. Timing chain, you have to slacken it because you got to get this gear off. So timing or air pump, the squirrel, I have to unloosen it and go this way so I can get my big giant big Allen. It's a ow, it's huge. H12, yeah. And then inside that, once you get that plug off, then there's another one in there that you unloosen, and it's the tensioner. And right there, yeah, it's a tensioner. Unloosen that, that comes off, and then you get the gear off, 1, 2, 3. And that side is done. And then you got to work on the other side. All right, what time is it? It is 6:20, so I started it at 4 on this side here. So what is that? Almost 2.5 hours. Yeah, I took about a 15-minute break. Yeah, all I got is just the spark plugs. I think I'll take those out. But yeah, this side's all out. See these 1, 2 studs? They're kind of like frozen in there. I've tried taking them out before, and they want to snap. So, you know, be careful for that. There's that block drain I was telling you about. These are really fun. These big old pipe, these things. Look. You're on your back with all these extensions, you know, little WD-40 on, these are what the bolts look like. They're 13s. Luckily I've had these out before, but they were still tight. I had to use a breaker bar on one of them under there. So we're good all the way around here. So tomorrow morning, unloosen this, release the tension, take this gear out, 1, 2, 3. Gear will come out. Suspend the chain so it doesn't fall down in there. Yeah, I'm just gonna tie it off with like a little stick or something, and then hose clamp. And about 10 of these. I don't know what size bolts they are. They're right there. Cold start valve, I think, has to come out. Sensor wires. You can take it out. You can take this out with the sensors. Yeah. Cool. So I'm gonna take the rest of the night off. I don't need to work, but you know, you can see down here in here, when I was under there, I could see the oil right there at the corner starting, and that's where you get the oil leaks. So if we would have gone another, you know, 4 months, whatever, you start getting oil on the ground, because this used to be dry. So that head gasket did definitely blow. Okay. Okay, spark plugs are out. They're not looking too bad. I think I can reuse these, yeah. They're not very old, but they're very clean. The car's supposedly running really good, so that's good. Then I need to measure the space between here and the radiator, because I would like to eventually just ditch this fan clutch setup that's, you know, doesn't cool that much. Maybe it does when you're driving, but not when you're idling. Stop and go traffic. So yeah, get these dimensions here and then figure out a fan shroud. I don't want to destroy the original one. I could buy another one, and then get a fan or a double fan right here that fits it. Man, that head gasket never blow again. Okay, it's the next day. It rained this morning. Great. I don't think it's gonna rain anymore. So I'm gonna take this gear off. We all got this side done. First thing I gotta do is I gotta set the timing on this. And I did that by rotating the engine with that. I stuck a wire down in the hole for the spark plug number 1. Get it to top dead center. Keep rotating it until the wire goes up, it goes down, and then it goes all the way up. Before it goes back again, you check. See the black dot, and then these lines here, and here. All that has to line up. And then I also take precautions of putting just a mark on the chain and the sprocket, and then down here at the pointer, hard to see, isn't it? Oh, it sure is. Come on, cooperate. It's, yeah, right there. I put that white dot right at that line there, and that's exactly top dead center. So when I put it back together, everything will line up okay. You're one tooth off, you're gonna have to redo it all over again. So now it's just a matter of now I got to move this pump over that way and get this tensioner out. Relieve the tension so that I can do 1, 2, 3 bolts. They're Torx. Suspend the chain. I put a stick right here and suspend it so it doesn't fall down and get off the teeth at the bottom. I want to kind of keep it all intact. All right. So there's, just to move this aside, there's one 13 millimeter. This is a big, long sucker, and you have to unscrew it. It takes forever to unscrew it out. Then I got the tensioner released. Oh, I think I used a black silicone sealer. Worked real good. And I also used black sealer on both sides of this timing cover. Really worked good for, there's always a leak at this corner that pulls up here, and this is the first time that this one hasn't leaked because I used that black silicone. Usually I use Hylamar blue, $10 for a little tube like that, it always ended up leaking. It's for race engines. It's for racers that have to take their engines apart constantly back and forth at the track and stuff. It's not for long-term use as far as I'm concerned. But here's the tensioner. So you've got, this is what pushes against the dealy bob that pushes against the chain. And you've got one of these, you got a spring, and then you have this right here. This big old Allen. You think that one's big? Oh, look at that one. That one is for getting the inside like that. And that's a an H17 and a H12. That's what you need to take that apart, and putting it back together isn't too hard. I like to clean everything out before I put it back in. So now the chain, there's the rail there. That's what pushes on the chain. There's something where we have to, I forget, but there's something to do with, I think we got to get this thing out right here. There's some kind of a pin in here that releases it, so you can I forget what it does, but I gotta look it up. Okay. So this is one of the valve cover bolts, holds the valve cover down. And it screws into this pin, and then there's one threaded nut I found in my junk pile, a washer, and then a bigger bolt that's just loose that doesn't thread onto this, and then another washer. The idea is to turn this in a little bit and then tighten this. Got it out. Pain in the butt that is. Make sure to put a rag right there so that washer doesn't fall down into the crankcase. And this is the setup right here. So the first washer I used wasn't right. You have to find one that slips over this with some slop in it like that. One I was using was too tight. It wasn't doing its thing, so the idea, it's kind of hard to, that's the pin right there. Okay. So I got one nut that fits, then one big sloppy nut. And what happens when you tighten the small nut here, it forces the pin out. It's the only way to do it. Only way to do it. Good Lord. Okay, sprocket's off. The chain is suspended. That way it doesn't fall down in there. So the head is completely removed from this up to here. Now we've just got this side from here to there. Not horrible. There's some bolts that are really hard to get to, but little angles and stuff, and you know. These are just some of the tools, some of the stuff I got. I got mirrors for looking, a headlight for my head, these Torx bits, just oddball stuff here. This will be the Thank God I still have enough for the head gasket. Some Loctite blue, little WD. Get a good set of this works almost everything on the car. You'll have to plus I have a bunch of these different type of things, and so far these are all the sockets that I've used. And I have little miniature breaker bars for some of the things that are really tight. And then I got a bigger one. This is a torque wrench, and this is the flat, whatever you call it, ruler flatness. And then just an assortment of wrenches, small ones, jack. And you can do it. I mean, this job, if it doesn't need to be machined, I mean, it's a $2,500 worth of labor easily. Used to be, before COVID, it was maybe $1,500, but now, everybody's raised their prices on everything in the world. If you could even find anybody that'd be willing to do something like this, but it's not that bad. It's just, it's time consuming, and when you rush is when you make mistakes. So make sure you can take your time and you'll get it done. They always run so much better after you put a new head gasket. For some reason, I clean all the valves and crowns of the pistons and stuff like that. Okay, about 2 hours later, we have this done. We took out all the bolts. All the bolts here. One bolt kind of stays in like that, but it's far enough where the head will come off. The back, these bracket things for this water hose off. Cold start injector somewhere is in here. It's behind that bolt. That comes off. All the sensors are all undone. And so now it's just a head bolt to take off. And you got to take them off in a certain sequence. I got to look it up, but you start with number 14 over here. I'm going to get all the grease or all the oil out of each one of those holes and clean it out with brake cleaner. I don't want any slippage in there when I'm trying to break those suckers loose, because they are on there tight. Yeah. Get rid of that. And then we get the head and put the back belt on. Lift it, set it here. Move that piece of wood over right here. Set it down on its one side. And inspect. Oh my God. I tell you, it's like one day, for me, one day to do one side, flush all this stuff out of there. And then another day to take it off and kind of inspect. Then another day of just cleaning everything. Cleaning the head the best I can, check it. If it needs to be go to the machine shop, I'll take it there right away. If not, then we just keep cleaning it. Clean, 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 clean. It's like an operating room, isn't it? Hopefully by tonight I'll have this off. I want to have it off before 5, but you got to take your breaks. Lunchtime, 2 o'clock, 2 p.m. All right. Okay, about 45 minutes later, and I got it off. Well, that's a top dead center, all right. You can see that's the copper coat right there from the gasket or from the spray. It's not horrible. See, you've got these don't want to lose those. There's one more somewhere. That's it. There's one there. Yeah, there's one right there. They're locating pins. So there's the problem area right there. I don't know where it blew at, but yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, it's exhaust side there. I'll have to check this for flatness. Doesn't look cracked. No cracks, no cracks, no cracks. Cracks between cylinder walls. No. So now we just got to clean all this stuff off and then measure for flatness. Doesn't look horrible, but everything looks pretty even. Some carbon, not a whole lot. The valve guide seals are good. Yeah, that's all there is to it. It's bleeding out there. Okay. I'd love to get these studs out, but I mean, with vice grips, what a sight. I think I'll post this up on Ben's World. No cracked pistons. No, I'll take this off. Take it off. On here. Come on, baby. You can do it. I know you can do it. The carnage. No cracks, no cracks. Nothing there, nothing there. There's the hot spot here. A little bit of pluggage right there. I think that's water. I'll have to check all those out. Look inside there. Blow it out. There's the block, the drain block and draining. Open that up and throw some compressed air through these holes. Figure out which ones are the water, which ones are, I'm pretty sure these are for the sidewall. Keep it cool. Yeah. So anyway, so that's the fun part of overheating an engine. It doesn't look horrible. I believe this is a Victor Heinz gasket. That's the bad spot right there, though. You can see it's kind of like all wettish compared to the rest of it. Yeah, you know, I went and spent $150 down here at the Mercedes dealer and bought their gasket, and it leaked. That's the one I replaced last summer. It leaked. Then I buy this like $40 gasket, and it didn't leak any oil. This one leaked only because of the severe overheating. Don't overheat your engine. Don't let the water boil out of your engine. Don't do that. Anyways, it looks okay. So I think maybe we'll be done with part 1, and then I'll make a part 2. We'll check the flatness and clean it all up. See if we got to take a trip to Mr. Machine Shop. It's an old school machine shop here, Osborne Engineering. They do all that stuff. Old guy there does it. And if we have to go there, maybe I can have him explain things to us on the process. Okay. So this is John, and I am done for now. Alrighty, so let's see, I'm measuring this thing. So this should be 0.08, 0.08 millimeter, the bottom one. And I think this thing is warped. That's good. That's good. So it's warped right in the middle. So, yeah, you know, I cleaned off this really good. Scraped it with a razor blade and then 1000 grit just to make sure, but yeah, it goes through. So it looks like machine shop time, Gianni. All right. Yeah, tomorrow I think they charge $60 just to do what I did. I'd be afraid to ask what they're going to charge. I think the last time I called them, they said to machine it and check it all out and pressure test it. It was crazy. It was like crazy. I think it was like $700 or something. I don't know. I hope not. I just wanted to skim it. I don't care about the valves. They're fine. You know, passes emissions. There's nothing leaking out of there. Spark plugs are clean as a whistle. Just ask them, hey, can you just skim it? I don't know if they've got to take all the valves out to skim it. We'll find out. Anyways, end of part 1. Yeah, my God, the carnage. Yeah. All right. See you later.